Katzcradul and PaladinPrepper here, just giving you a little garden update. We showed you the garden a couple of weeks ago and it looked kind of sad. We didn't have anything planted yet. This is our row of cucumbers. We have a very tiny yard and we have to use every inch of space. So here's a cattle panel we have just leaning up against the fence, and we're training the cucumbers up that. We have about 5 or 6 of them planted. Those are all pickling cucumbers. I'm not real fond of cucumbers in a salad, but we love good dill pickles with sandwiches. We use everything. We don't waste. We laid down a little path here because it got kind of muddy because of all the rain. These are just mold shingles we just laid down to walk on. Here is a clothesline. Is that what they're called? An umbrella clothesline that we are using to grow green beans on. We did it last year and it was very, very successful. We just open the umbrella up and we plant our beans in a square following the outline of the umbrella at the top. And when the beans poke their little heads up, then PaladinPrepper puts down boards with bricks on them and wires, strings tied to it, and we train the beans up the structure. And we can walk inside the structure to pick the beans, and it's like a grotto when it's all covered over. It's really pretty cool looking. Here's our zucchini plants. They're doing great. Several of them are coming up. You can show them one of them in here. There's a couple of pretty ones in there. Nice and healthy. We only have a tiny little bit of ground left that's not worked. And right by the zucchini, we're going to plant a very short row of okra. It's soaking, and we're going to get it in the ground tonight. Of course, the chicken coop's empty for the moment. The girls are out for a stroll. But you can see every inch is utilized. There's a compost tumbler there, and then our rain barrels, and we'll make our way around the corner. It's a tiny little L-shaped yard. Oh, here's a project Prepper A is working on because we're out of space. We're going to plant yellow crookneck squash in each of these barrels, actually containers. And here we go. It looks a lot different than 2.5 weeks ago, I'll say. Lots of tomatoes again. We've put 2 cattle panels long ways, and instead of putting baskets around our tomatoes, we're going to train them up the cattle panels and tie them to stabilize. They're doing just great. The strawberries have just finished bearing. I think we picked the last batch today. The apple trees are looking great.
They need to be...
Yeah, I could do a
little attention. Yeah.
A little bit of attention. Then I've got a little pot here. It's my little Italian pot. I've got oregano and lemon thyme and rosemary. That's my little kitchen garden right there for my herbs. The rest of the strawberries and the other apple trees. I picked all of the rhubarb I'm going to pick for the year today. I finished that out. And so whatever comes forth now on the rhubarb plant, you'll see a lot of new little green growth there. I'm just going to leave it and let the energy go back into the plant. It's a good idea to harvest that because now it leaves room for my raspberries to spread out a little bit as they're about to bear. Oh, here are the girls now. Hey, ladies. We lost a chicken last week. Not sure what happened. She was just feeling poorly and couldn't make it. Yep, there's a little tight-leafed basil. We've got some peppers and eggplant planted close by the tomatoes. Didn't use as many peppers this year. Still have a lot left.
I've got to string that one up.
Yeah, that one needs to be tied up, doesn't it? And the blackberries, they're very slow growing, but they're looking like they're doing fine. They're still leafing out.
These are the thornless blackberries. We have some. These are very large blackberries when they bush out, bigger than your thumb, really big and fat and juicy. And one of the things that Katzcradul had pointed out before is we're making it a point of of planting things that you don't have to replant every year. The great thing about the rhubarb, the rhubarb, the rhubarb and the strawberries. And we both were just really amazed that in our area we had such a hard winter, and yet the strawberries and the rhubarb just bounced right back and really performed.
We've got a little funny section of fence over here that is kind of, it's not really good for planting very much, but I planted last week 3 little asparagus plants here, and they seem to have taken and seem to be doing well. You might just turn around and give them a whole shot of the garden just so they can see how much we have in such a very small space. Go ahead and finish it out, PaladinPrepper. Anything else you need to say? We just make every inch count.
Well, I was just going to mention that something that she mentioned in another video that she's already posted. I came across something the other day, and I'm just about to make a video on this. You know, my dad used to raise bees, and I got quite interested in that, and I was going to get a beehive, and every article that I read concluded with something, or somewhere in there would say, but beekeeping is a very expensive hobby. Well, a couple of days ago I came across something, a totally different concept in beekeeping, and I'm going to pursue it.
I think the girls are getting restless. I think it's
Yeah,
getting dark enough that they're ready to go home.
Yeah, they're on this end.
Hey, you know what? I'm ready to go in too.
Yes, I smell roast. All right, well, this is PaladinPrepper
and Katzcradul.